Hello, everyone. This is Jennifer Brown, Family Consumer Science Agent with the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service. This is our workshop that we're going to do on sizing up your portions because a lot of people, it's not that they're not eating right, they're just eating too much. So we're going to give you some suggestions, some tips, some tricks, things to think about, as well as some good resources for you to use in the future when you are thinking about portion sizes. Well, first of all, the objectives for this presentation basically are to let people know what an appropriate portion size is, to identify strategies for controlling their portion sizes, as well as utilizing the My Plate when planning your meals, and understanding how portion size can help you achieve as well as maintain a healthy weight. Well, what do bigger portions mean? Simply, we eat more food. So you're consuming more calories and then your weight increases. But it can also have certain health concerns. So on the slide, I have three pictures that have different, it's the same meal, but it's three different portions. And you can kind of see how one portion is kind of the portion that you might eat if you're thinking about losing weight. One of them is to maintain your weight, and the other one is if you need to gain weight. There are some people that are trying to put on pounds, probably muscle, but they're trying to bulk up and to increase their weight. So that is something as well to pay attention to. So here are some pictures of what a 2,000 calorie diet looks like. So you can see it's got breakfast, lunch, a snack, and dinner. So your grains, we recommend that you get 6 ounces of grains, half of that being whole grains, 2.5 cups of vegetables a day, 2 cups of fruit, 3 cups of dairy or milk products, and 5.5 ounces of your meat and beans, otherwise your protein products. So you can see, kind of looking at the meals here, you don't see any sweet teas or any coffees or any soft drinks or any beverages besides water and a glass of milk. So we're going to talk about each of these things and kind of break down each of these food groups a little bit to give us a better idea of what the My Plate looks like and what you can do to size up your portions correctly. So if you take the last slide that has 2,000 calorie diet, which is kind of just the average for recommendations, but if you just increase your portions at 2 of those meals, then you could be looking at 600 extra calories. And this is not much. I mean, it's adding an extra, cup of cereal in the morning and changing your lunch to have a big old sandwich or sub at one of the deli shops. You can add up to 600 extra calories just by those 2 slight changes. We have in the United States, we have Americanized food. And basically what that means is bigger is always better when it comes to food, or that's how people think. We didn't create the croissant, the French did, but ours is bigger and at least 100 more calories than those you'll find in France. A lot of times we'll even just drizzle some chocolate or stuff it with something or whatever. Our bagels are triple the size. It weighs about 3 ounces more, over double the amount of calories as it was when it was originally created. The quesadilla in Mexico, it's about a 5-inch tortilla, which is about 540 calories. But here in America, that quesadilla is a 10-inch tortilla and 1,000 calories. We have doubled the calories and doubled the size by just simply Americanizing the food. And we've done that. You see that across all the restaurants, no matter if it's a chain store or anything like bigger is better. You want your get your bang for the buck kind of thing. If you're going to pay that much, I want a big meal. And unfortunately, that's caused us to ourselves get double the amount of size. And so we have an overweight and obesity problem in this country from doing simple things like that. So we all grew up in the Clean Plate Club. So we want to kind of do away with that. And this is 3 reasons you need to quit the Clean Plate Club. Some of the information in this PowerPoint has been borrowed from different sources, but all of those resources are named at the bottom of each slide. So this is information from this, but 77% of us eat everything on our plate. Well, that forces you to eat up those extra calories, which can add up, just that extra 1 or 2 bites on your plate. It encourages you to mindlessly eat. You're not even paying attention. It's on your plate. You need to clean it. And that's just what we do. And if you've noticed, our plate sizes have gotten bigger over the years. You know, we used to have maybe small or medium plates. That was our dinner plates. Now at dinner, we have these big platters. Also, another reason you need to quit the Clean Plate Club is it just simply steals the joy from eating. You're not just enjoying your food. I mean, you get to where you're almost feeling stuffed and just, I can't take another bite, but there's a bite on my plate and I have to eat it because I was told that I have to eat it. Otherwise, I'm wasting food. And we don't want you to waste food either. So we're going to talk about that. But overall, when we're talking about portion size, simple thing to remember, you got that scale, you got that balance, calories in, you've got to balance it with calories out. So I always have people like, well, I just can't eat that little bit or I need more. Great, then you have to exercise more than the other people who can, hold on to a 2,000 calorie diet. You want that donut, is it worth it? So that's what I often tell in some of our diabetes classes is I will look at a piece of food, whether it's, a sweet or something like that, and tell myself, okay, about 100 calories of something like a donut or something like that, that's about 20 minutes on the treadmill or just 20 minutes of walking 3 miles an hour. Okay. So is that donut, is that piece of bread, is that croissant, is that whatever you're having, is that worth the amount of time that I need to exercise to burn it off? Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's been a stressful day. It's been a stressful week. And yes, that donut is good enough and I will work out later to burn it off. Other days, you know what? No, I don't have the time and it's not worth it. I hate taking a bite of something and almost regretting that I took a bite. The taste isn't even worth it some of the times because I feel the guilt or I feel oh my gosh, now I have to go exercise to burn off that. So again, just understanding that balance. If you want to eat that, great, you're going to have to work it off. So I've got some slides. These are from the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute that's talking about serving size and portions. And it compares some of the foods that I've kind of previously mentioned 20 years ago and today. So just looking at that bagel, 140 calories, 3-inch diameter 20 years ago. Today, it's 210 calories. That cheeseburger that 20 years ago was 333 calories. Today, there's a difference of 257 calories, okay? So there's a lot of different strategies that you can use to control portions. I mean, even just not going out to eat where you know that what you're going to be eating, I mean, a simple burger could be 600 calories. And then you add the fries to it, and then you add the drink to it, and your combo meal at a fast food place is 1,100 calories out of your 2,000 calories. And in 2 hours, you're going to be hungry again because it's not that filling. So some strategies to control your portions, whether you're eating out, whether you're eating at home, is asking for smaller portions. So if you do go somewhere, can you have the kids meal? Can I have a appetizer? Can I have the lunch special, even if you're at dinner? Or ask for a to-go box. Some places I go, I will actually get the bigger meal, the dinner entree, so I can have leftovers. I can go to a local restaurant and get a meal for $8 to $10, and I can eat off of it 3 times. That's how much food it is. But I need to ask for that to-go box early on in the meal. Sometimes I tell them, go ahead and bring it to me. Or if I get, some extra sides, I'm like, can I go ahead and get this in a to-go box? So I don't even see it. I'm not even interested in thinking about eating it, because what happens if you don't get that to-go box early on, they deliver your food and you just start, again, mindlessly eating. And next thing you know, your 3/4 of the plate is gone. And you really don't have enough to save for a leftover. It's not quite enough for another meal. It's a nice snack. So either you throw it away, you leave it there, or you take it home and maybe eat it later for a snack, or you just finish it off while you're there. And neither one of those 3 options is a good option. So go ahead and get that to-go box. If you'd like to, if you're environmentally conscious, Instead of getting, a lot of times they give you a styrofoam container, take a to-go container with you. I mean, how many Tupperware containers do I need at my house? I can take one with me. A lot of women have a purse big enough to have a Tupperware container in it anyway, so I'll do that sometimes, and I'll put my food in the to-go box. So I'm saving their styrofoam, and I'm saving my waistline, and I'm also saving money, because instead of tomorrow me having to go out and buy another lunch, I've got lunch already. I have gone to places and I've shared a meal with someone, or, can we split a meal? Or especially my children, I'll do that too. If I am eating at home, I try to get out the smaller plates or the smaller bowls, because if you have a big old bowl or a big old plate, you kind of tend to feel that you have to fill up that empty space, and you put too much on your plate. So I try not to do that. I will use measuring cups and spoons sometimes to serve out my portions, especially at work when I'm serving a normal lunch and learn. I will get a measuring spoon, and my recipe says that, a half a cup of this is this many calories. So I will get a half a cup measuring cup, and that's how I serve people. Instead of a spoon, or instead of just, a big old glop on my plate, I'm actually using a measuring cup or a measuring spoon to measure it out. Or if I'm making like a lasagna and it says that this is 8 servings or this is 12 servings, I go ahead and cut it into those servings. So, it may not stop certain people in my household or family from eating 2 of the servings, but they're going to know that this is what a portion size is. I've already cut it for you. I also try to read nutrition labels. A lot of times we just don't know what we're eating. We don't think it's that bad. When I tell people about certain labels and certain foods, they are astonished, especially fast food places. And all of your fast food or your chain restaurants somewhere have to give you information about the amount of calories in that. If it's a big enough chain, I think they have to have over 20 stores. They have to provide that nutritional information somewhere. Sometimes it's on their restaurant, sometimes it's up front, it's in a brochure, it's on the menu. Sometimes it's, at some of the fast food places, it's on the back of the little paper that's in my tray that I take to my seat. So it could be a lot of different places. Ask for it. There are different apps that you can put your information of what you're eating. I'm eating at this restaurant. Again, if it's a chain, it'll be in the app, and it'll tell you how many calories that meal is. So the 2 apps that I recommend if you want to track your food are Lose It or MyFitnessPal. Both of those, you can track your food by entering what you're eating. You can put specific brand names. You can scan the barcodes of the items. There's a variety of different things, as well as you can track your exercise. So again, it gives you a good information about that calories in, calories out, and it'll tell you, okay, you've eaten this many calories and you've burned this much, and it'll tell you how much more you either need to eat or you need to burn. And it will give you a certain amount of calories that you are allowed to take in if you're trying to lose a certain amount of weight by a certain amount of time. So you can just play with those apps. Both of them are free. Again, the Lose It and MyFitnessPal are the 2 apps that I recommend. Both of them have a website if you don't have a smartphone but have a computer and you want to go into loseit.com or myfitnesspal.com. Just play around with them. You can use them as little or as much as you want. We also will reference a book, The Calorie King book. That is a good book, and it'll tell you how many calories, how many carbs, how many different things are in these different meals, and it has a lot of the information too about those restaurants, those chain restaurants. So we also recommend people to have that little book and just, get a little piece of paper, handwrite it if you, go old school if you don't have the technology of a computer or a smartphone. When you're getting other things to go with your meal, get it on the side. Whether it's dressings, gravy, sour cream, guacamole, any of those kind of sauces, get them on the side, and then you can dip it into, but it's not poured or slathered on there. I've seen so many, semi-healthy salads that are completely destroyed by how much dressing somebody has put on it. Look at the label, that nutrition label on that bottle of dressing. See how much actual serving size is and how many calories you're putting on there is a way that you can, cut that down. One of the things I do in my house is I will serve the meal. I'll, plate everything up for the people in my house, and I go ahead and put up the leftovers in the fridge before I even sit down to eat. So that way I'm not tempted, as well as my family, is not tempted to go back for seconds. I gave you what my plate portion size is. I'm not saying you can't go get more if you really are hungry and you need that, that's fine. But it requires you to do a little extra work. You're going to have to go get those containers out of the refrigerator, put them on your plate, maybe reheat them, as opposed to them just sitting on the table and it's easy for you to just reach over and grab extra helping. So getting those food containers when you're serving the meal off the kitchen table has helped. But even keeping them off the kitchen counter has helped even more by just going ahead and putting it in the refrigerator. And better yet, going ahead and putting it in leftover containers. If you're thinking about taking it for lunch, go ahead and make your lunch for tomorrow. So that way you don't run out of time. It's something I always hear people, oh, I plan to get up and make my lunch today and I forgot or I ran out of time. Well, you've already done it because when you were putting up your food from dinner last night, you went ahead and put it in a to-go box that you could just easily grab and take to work. One of the things to control portions is to not buy in bulk. Buying in bulk can save you money if you're going to eat it all, but also it could tempt you into overeating. So you have to decide. You are the only ones who know you. I do buy in bulk because it saves money, especially, but typically that's more I'm buying chicken in bulk. I don't buy a 3-pound bag of apples because my family doesn't eat apples that quickly and they will start to rot. So buying in bulk bag of apples will save me money instead of buying them individually, but not if they're going to rot. I'm going to throw them away and it's going to be a waste of money. And so you just have to make that decision for you, but not buying the bad things in bulk. You want a piece of candy? Get a little individual. Don't buy a big old bag that you just keep going back to. Skipping dessert. This can be a difficult one for people. I know a lot of people that do really well when they're tracking their food. And then at the end of the day, before bed, they go get a big old bowl of ice cream or a piece of pie or something like that. And I'm like, you did awesome today. I'm looking at your calorie count. It was great. And then at 8 o'clock at night, you went and you ate 600 calories by having a milkshake or something else. Don't let one thing, especially the dessert, blow it. Also remember that if you really, oh, I've got that sweet tooth, you need that dessert, fruit is a wonderful dessert. You can make a smoothie, a yogurt parfait, a little bit of yogurt with some fruit, some granola, wonderful little things. If you're going to, instead of having an apple pie, my family will make an apple crisps. So you still have the apples and the cinnamon and that kind of stuff, but instead of using the pie crust, which is probably the most unhealthy part for you, is we will get oatmeal and sprinkle the oatmeal on top of the container of apples and put it in the oven. It's a much healthier way of having the apples and the dessert that I enjoy, but not getting as many calories. But again, still making sure the apple crisp is better for you than the apple pie, but just an apple or even apple sauce is better than the apple crisp or the apple pie. But portion size, okay? Again, I'm not going to tell you that you can't have a pie, you can't have ice cream, you can't have cookies, you can't have any of this, because I'm going to be eating those at my house too. But I'm going to watch the portion size. So when I make my apple crisp, when I make an apple pie or buy one, I'm going to cut it into the amount of portions that it says. So many people buy a piece of pie and it serves about 8 people, but they cut them in big, huge slices. And so it's basically you just ate 1/4 of a pie. You ate double the amount of servings. And then you put double the amount of ice cream on it. So, I mean, again, I'm not saying you can't have it. Those things are a treat. Those things are in moderation, and just watch the size. So just simply, okay, I really, really want this. Can I cut it in half? The secret to serving size is in your hand. So this was created by the Iowa Department of Public Health, and we kind of adapted it here in North Carolina. And we have a brochure that we could send you if you're interested in actually having this information in your hand. But the secret to a serving size is in your hand. So if you put your hand in a fist or, cup it, that's about a cup. If you just kind of like, I'm going to hit you, I've got a fist right there, that is about 1 cup. So if you don't have a measuring cup, that's how you can measure your food. Because I'll do that when I go to the grocery store. I need 2 cups of strawberries. Okay, that's about this size, and I put 2 hands. You'll see me at the grocery store doing that. That's a good way for me measuring cereal, measuring, even ice cream or something like that. And it goes throughout here, if you just want 1 ounce of cheese, that's about the size of your thumb. A handful of some nuts and seeds, 1 to 2 ounces of snack food. A tennis ball is also indicative of 1/2 cup of fruits and vegetables. And one of the biggest things I tell people is their protein. we go to restaurants and we get an 8-ounce, 10-ounce, 12-ounce, 16-ounce steak. You are supposed to have about 5.5 ounces. 3 to 5 ounces is a serving. Again, 3 ounces is kind of for a female, maybe closer to 5 is a male. Just, again, depends on your size and stuff like that. But about the size of your palm, the inside of your palm there, that's about 3 ounces of meat. So when you're looking at whether it's your poultry, your fish, your beef, any of that, 1 palm size portion equals about 3 ounces for an adult. Okay, and that's the recommended size. So again, if I'm going and getting my 8-ounce steak at a restaurant, or even if I'm making it from a steak that I got from a local farmer, I'm going to cook it, I'm going to cut it in half, and I've got 2 meals right there. It's the first thing I do, because otherwise I'll just sit there and eat the whole steak. So I'm going to put it up for leftovers. When you're thinking about planning meals for the week, there's a couple of other things to think about to include with that. So again, the My Plate focuses on half of your plate being fruits and vegetables. So think about that salad or other vegetables at each meal. We want you to eat the rainbow of colors. Do you have fat-free or low-fat milk products? Can you substitute, if you're making something, can you substitute or take out some? So reducing, substituting, or excluding are wonderful ways of cutting down on your portions, cutting down on your calories. Fruit is a wonderful thing as a dessert. I've mentioned that before. No matter what protein you like to eat, lean. Okay, we want it to be low fat, as lean as we can get it. Cut off that fat, take off that skin on the chicken, whatever. As I mentioned before, about 6 ounces of grains, specifically half of that being whole grains, like your brown rice, your oatmeal, your whole wheat bread, different things. You want to limit your sweet treats to special occasions and keep your portions small. And remember, a lot of those drinks, that alcohol, the juice, the soda, and all those other drinks contain a lot of sugar and are high in calories. So we call them liquid candy almost, because they can be double the amount of sugar in a candy bar, So thinking about that. Now, I'm not saying you can substitute, oh, cool, I can eat the candy bar instead of the soft drink. But this nutrition facts label is one of your best friends. It can help you choose foods that are low in saturated fat, low in sodium, which is salt, low in sugar, and low in calories. So paying attention to the nutrition facts labels, because that saturated fat, we're not as concerned about the total fat. We're concerned about the saturated and the trans fats, because those are the unhealthy ones for your heart. That mainly comes from animal products like meat and dairy products, butter, margarine, lard, those kinds of things. Sodium, your salt. It is recommended that you have less than 2,300 milligrams of salt daily. So you could benefit from that just by lowering your blood pressure, by reducing the amount of sodium in your diet. Sugar, you should have no more than 10% of daily calories from added sugar. So the new nutrition labels that some products have and that the others will eventually have, it has your total sugars listed there, and then under it, it says includes a certain amount of added sugars. So you can know how much is natural sugar, and then you can know how much is added sugar. We want to reduce the number of added sugar. If your product has fruit in it, it's going to have a good amount of total sugars. I'm concerned about the added sugar that is in it. So that's what we want, is no more than 10% of your daily calories coming from added sugars. And then overall, your calorie, counting your calories, keeping track of that food log is going to help you. Choosing snacks from the different food groups, again, is going to balance that. It's going to help you reach that My Plate. If you want information on My Plate, you could go to choosemyplate.gov, and that's the USDA's website that has recipes, has handouts, has meal calorie plans, information to help you get started on trying to be healthier, trying to watch your portions, and trying to eat that My Plate. But having healthy snacks around. Again, I mentioned before that a lot of times at the end of the day is when people are just ruining their entire diet or ruining their entire day of their calories, is just that last couple of hours. So can you have a snack at bedtime? Yes. You want to have it earlier, not right at bedtime, because that's, again, when your metabolism is going to be the slowest, is when you're sleeping, because you're not doing anything. But having a healthy snack, low-fat yogurt with some almonds, some fruit, granola, whatever, small apple with some peanut butter, low-fat string cheese with some cut-up veggies or fruit, whole grain cereal with fat-free milk. I mean, have a bowl of cereal at bedtime. Fresh veggies dipped in hummus, low-fat cottage cheese mixed with strawberries. If you're going to have something like even just, I want a piece of toast. We will have olive oil toast here at my house, so just toasting it like normal, and then we drizzle a little bit of olive oil instead of butter, because olive oil is a healthy unsaturated fat versus butter, which is a saturated fat and not heart healthy. I can put some oregano, some basil, some thyme, some sage, whatever kind of spices you like on your toast if you want it to kind of be like garlic bread. Again, staying away from the garlic salt, so you're making sure that you're not making it unhealthy. When you're dining out, you want to make sure that you're not eating all of your meal. Take the leftovers home, put them in the fridge right away. Choosing the drinks without added sugars, such as water. A lot of times we go out and we get a glass of tea and then they refill it like 4 different times. Or we get an alcoholic beverage and that is extra calories onto our meal. So starting with a salad to help you feel full sooner. That's better than the bread or the chips and the salsa and different things as kind of a appetizer there. Sharing an entree, I already mentioned that. When you are eating something like a sandwich or whatever, see if they have where you can request 100% whole wheat bread, rolls, whole wheat pasta when you're choosing your sandwiches, your burgers, or even some of your main dish. Passing on the all-you-can-eat buffet and ordering an item from the menu. So just because they have a buffet doesn't mean you have to eat at it. Preferably using the steamed, grilled, or broiled dishes because those are going to have fewer calories. So just improving the way that it's being cooked, not doing the fried stuff. Filling your plate with veggies and fruits, stir fries, vegetarian menus, or getting a fruit as a side dish or even a dessert. I love when I can go to like even just Chick-fil-A and instead of the fries, I can get the fruits side. My kids love it. Order a side dish or an appetizer that's smaller than a regular entree. So again, ordering a smaller size. These are just a couple of different things that you can do when you're dining out. This slide here has a bit of healthy recipes. So you can go to the healthyhumanservices.gov website and they have recipes there. The choosemyplate.gov, deliciousdecisions.org, or heart.org/recipes is the American Heart Association, and even diabetes.org. So whenever I'm looking up recipes, I try to find a website that has a .gov, a .org, or a .edu at the end of the website address, because I know that it's from a governmental agency, it's from a reputable organization, or it's from an educational organization and university. So these recipes have probably been tested in some kind of way, shape, or form. A lot of them will provide you the nutritional facts information so that you can determine and count the calories if you're interested in doing that. So hopefully you've gotten a bit of information to help you size up your portions and understand how to make them work for you. But again, my name has been Jennifer Brown, Family Consumer Science Agent with the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service. If you have any questions, would like information mailed or emailed or sent to you, you can call our office at Person County 336-599-1195 or in the Granville office at 919-603-1350. You can email me at jennifer.brown@ncsu.edu, and please like and follow our Facebook page at facebook.com/PersonGranvilleFCS. We also have a Twitter page and a Instagram page. Same thing again, at PersonGranvilleFCS is our handle. So you can send me a comment on one of our posts. You can email me. You can call me. Whatever, we can mail or email information, or I can give you a call and answer any of your questions on health, nutrition, food safety, or any of those topics. Thanks for tuning in.